Hi, let's try to understand and make sense of joints. Joints is probably the most fundamental clause in SQL. Without joints, we can only work with one table. What is the interest of working on one table? We want to work with many tables, uh, put them together and have results, combine them. Without joints, basically we cannot do much in SQL. So let's try to understand joints. We have three types of joints that at the end of the day are basically two. The three types of joints are the inner joint, left joint, and right joint. As we will see later on, a left and a right joint are basically the same thing, changing the order of tables. So A left joint B is the same as B right joint A. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple to see it and so on. So let's try to make sense of joints. We opened our terminal, we log into MySQL, and we will use our database that is DSI1. In DSI1, if we look at the tables that we have in DSI1, we have two tables that we have been working these days. That is, one is clients, clientes, and the other is provincias. They are very small, very simple tables that can work pretty well to understand the whole concept of joins. So let's select all the records that we have from clients. As you can see, we don't have so many, we have 6 records, and everybody has assigned a provincia. Everybody but one, everybody but Maria. Maria has a no value in provincia. We will use that for the joint. If we look at provincias, well, we have several provincias, some of them that nobody uses. If we look at clientes and only provincia number 1, 2, and 3, that's Barcelona, Madrid, and Zaragoza, are being used. Provincias number 4 and 5, that is Bilbao and Malaga, nobody uses them. So we will try to use all these in order to make sense of the joints. Let's start with the inner joint. The inner joint is pretty simple. You put together only the records that match. If a record doesn't match, we don't put it together, we don't show it. So if we make an inner joint between provincias and clientes, we have one record that cannot match. That is cliente ID number 8, that is Maria, because Maria has a null value, so there is no way to match provincias. So Maria, if we do a normal inner joint, she will not show up. This is normally not what we want. But in these cases, in these tables, you normally make sure that everybody has a provincia ID. How do you do that? Because web interfaces and in general the user interface that you use makes mandatory that you put a provincia ID. Normally by selecting it from a combo box. So you have to select one in order to save the record. If there is no way not to select one, continue. So let's try to do an inner joint. What we want to do is pretty simple. We want to select, let's say, nombre cliente, and let's say nombre provincia from these two tables. One is clientes, and then we want an inner joint provincias. And here is a distinctive thing on the clause. We use ONT. As you remember, we use different keywords to identify a selection clause. We use where to select records, we use having to select groups, and now for the join condition, we use on. And here we put the join condition. And the join condition will be that clientes dot provincia ID equals provincias dot provincia ID. So that's pretty much it. We have our clients, 5 clients. Remember, Maria cannot match, so Maria is not there. Well, before continuing, just a little bit of cosmetic. As you know, normally we are lazy, we don't want to write much, so this sentence we will do in a different way. As you can see, particularly you have many tables, many fields. You have to specify from name of the table dot name of the column equals name of the table dot name of the column. We try normally to put names in tables of tables that explain a little bit the contents of the table, so they tend to be a bit long. But for doing that, it makes cumbersome, you write a lot, and so on. So normally you don't do that, and then here you put a letter, for example, from cliente C in a joint provincias P, and then instead of writing all this, you put C dot provincia ID equals P dot provincia ID, and it's just the same thing, but you write less. And this is how normally you will see everywhere. Nobody puts the whole name of the table and so on because it's just way too long. So second part, well, we didn't want that. We wanted to have all our clients, not the subset of clients that we know the provincia, but all our clients. So how can we do that? One way that we can do that is instead of using an inner joint, put all the records of the table clients. And if we put all the records on the table clients, because this table is on our left, this will be a left joint. So instead of an inner joint, we put a left joint, and we will have our Maria there. So we have all our records. Exactly the same thing. This is widely used. This is the one that you will normally use everywhere. Let's think from a variation. Instead of having all our clients and then putting the province, either they have province or not, let's say that we want to put the provinces, and then in these provinces we want to have all our clients. And this will be just upside down, just reverse the whole query. So we want something like select, in this case, nombre provincia, and then we want nombre cliente from provincias, let's say P, and then we want to include all provincias or only the ones that have clientes. If we want to include only the ones that we have clientes, the one that has to be complete is clientes. So this is a right joint because the table on the right is the one that we want to include everything. So let's put a right joint. Clientes, let's say C, on P dot provincia ID equals C dot provincia ID. And here we have our provincias, and then we have Barcelona with Javier and Jonah, Madrid with Javier and Peter, Zaragoza with Isidro, and a provincia that we don't know, null, that is Maria. We can do that just the other way, and for the sake of the example, let's do it the other way. And here we will have nombre cliente, comma, nombre provincia. We can leave it with the same structure, but in order to make sense and to think of the query, if it's better that we do it the other way, it's better that we use an structure, a query structure that matches our results. In this case, we want our clients, so we will say clientes, C, and then in clientes is where we want to have all our clients. So if this is the complete table, the one that we want to show all the records, this will be a left joint, and here will be provincias, that will be P, and the condition can be the same, and that's it. That's probably the query that we wanted, the query that we had in the beginning, and so on. So just to summarize, we have three types of joints. In a joint, only the records that match will show up, nothing else. So that's fine if you know that everything is complete. I mean, if all clients have a provincia. But if only one doesn't have a provincia, you will have a result that you cannot trust completely because, well, these things can happen, that you can have clients that have a null value. And then two more joints, right and left, where the one that we say right or left, I mean the right one or the left one, you will show the complete records of the table. Of course, you can have queries with more than 2 tables, with 3, with 4 tables, and so on. You always have one that is complete and others that are not complete, and so on. That's pretty simple. Uh, Watch this video as much as you want, but one thing that you have to be very clear is about how joints are made and how this construction works, because joints are a key part of the SQL language and you have to understand them perfectly, very well. I hope that this can help you to make sense of joints and understand joints. Thank you. Have a nice Sunday.